Who had the best rugby teams in the world up until the 1970s?
The Welsh, why?
The Welsh. Guess where they trained their fullbacks?
So we and our carload of flies have just left Wycliffe Well, heading into the 130k speed zone, which we won't be achieving in the van. And now we are heading for Tennant Creek, where we'll be staying a few days. Lovely couple of nights at Wycliffe Well. The manager or owner was most hospitable and came to ask us if we had a good stay this morning while we were packing up. Very nice. We're travelling too close together.
Yeah. I mean, when you're travelling with another caravan, you should leave at least a few car lengths or something for people to...
I'm going to leave 500 metres.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be that close.
These men. Look at them all here. These again.
Is it?
But he's doing 130.
Yeah.
Keep right through town.
Yeah.
Well, the price, we actually got an advertised price on the petrol. It's all right. What is it? $1.70. Fuel pay $1.72.
Still 24 degrees, that car's saying 23 degrees. Caravan park, 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Well, one straight one.
Yeah.
It's always good to see the razor wire along the top
Oh,
of
there'll
it.
be a sign saying caravan park. There's your United.
I'm not seeing the sign.
This looks like you're going out of town.
I'm not like that.
So maybe the sign's missing.
I might actually pull over beside this bus.
Is it the police down there?
Yeah. I hope they didn't want to test my breath.
Oh, oh okay. They're stopping people, aren't they? Oh, where is the entry? Caravan park.
Tennant Creek Cabin and Caravan Park.
Must be just around the corner. Okay.
Oh, we're here already.
Yep.
Just in time.
Today we are taking the Battery Hill mining tour.
What rock do I need if I'm hoping to find gold?
Gold rock. Of course.
What's that? Yeah. Now all you can see is the furrows on my shirt. Yeah. Come and have a look. I've got a nice lump of rock down in there. Right. Well, now that you're that close, I get you to stay there. Don't back off. Stay where you are. I want you to watch what happens as I start smacking this. You ready? Yeah. How hard do you reckon this stuff might be?
Very.
Okay. I got one spark off there. There you go. Anybody want to take over? So the bucket is lowered down the shaft on a cable. The bloke at the bottom, his job is to fill it up with rocks. The fellow at the top uses a windlass, winds this back to the surface, and he's going to sort it out. If it's a bucket full of this clay rubbish, just chuck it away. It really is useless. If I send him a bucket full of ironstone, though, he's going to take a sample and he's back to dollying every day, every bucket, to make certain that the rock we're taking out has gold in it. This is an Australian invention. It's called a pelican pick. Right? And it was invented on the goldfields in Kalgoorlie. Unlike these, this is made from a thin sheet of metal. And what gives it strength isn't the bulk, but the shape. But the shape means that it's not just a pick. It's also your shovel. What's going to change your life so you can get more gold without having to keep doing this? That's exactly what I need. Let's go and buy a big drill. This is a basic drilling machine. It's called an air leg drill. But this is called an air leg. I'm going to attach an air hose to this, and then the top part pushes the drill forward. This is a huge pneumatic ram, and this can push an awful lot harder than I can. But with that help, somebody my size can operate a drill like this. But once I've fired the box, then I can fire the first ring. And I have completely changed the structure. There's a hole right down the middle with a ring of explosives around it. That's not going to fire out like a cannon. Everything's going to get pushed into the empty space in the middle, and then it drops to the floor. But now I've got a bigger hole. I can fire the second ring, and then the third ring. So I'm talking 4 explosions. This thing wasn't invented until 1938. Every ounce of rock that ever came out of any mine prior to 1938 was picked up on a shovel. But because the load is high, all I have to do now is push it off the lock point, the flat spot. That's it. That's all I need to do. Because now the load is off here, it wants to fall over. Everything gets flipped off down into the top of the tunnel, and as soon as it's empty, ready to be used again. This is our general purpose, everyday explosive catch. And your lunchbox goes into your locker, and that's where you keep your new idea magazines and knitting and recipes you might want to share this month. You know, stuff that miners like. And this little cage is big enough to hold just 3 people. This is a very small one. And the cage I'm talking about, you can see why it's called the cage, is the yellow box.
Yeah.
If you want to step through there and have a look up, see if you can work out where we are. And then I get you to come out the other gate so we don't get a traffic jam.
Third level.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not quite sure of his question then. Yeah,
Some mines have got,
Only one.
some have got as many as 10.
In a semi-mechanised mine like this one, this is the worst job.
Stopping and jamming.
This is the top of one of those tunnels heading down to the next level. Right? And that is the bottom of the tunnel heading up to the level above. These are the ore passes. This is where I'm going to empty the trolleys. See that white line down there?
Mm-hmm.
There are tiny specks of gold along the edge of it. And on that one down there too. You can't see them, can you?
Not really.
No? Need a magnifying glass. Would you like to see a piece where you don't need a magnifying glass?
Mm-hmm.
That's the picture you're looking for. Tiny specks of gold. See that lovely yellow speck right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
That's
Barely.
a speck of gold. But now that I've shown you that one, can you see that one? And that of 6 ounces to the tonne. Because our rock is so heavy, a tonne of rock will fit into 2 wheelbarrows. 6 ounces of gold is worth $10,000 in 2 wheelbarrows. Okay. No, Tennant Creek is a unique gold field. There is no other mine in the world that mines ironstone.
Just been on an excellent mine tour, and we're now having a look around some of the old mining equipment, which is all here on display. The gold mining in Tennant Creek was unique because the gold was found in ironstone, whereas everywhere else in the world it's found in quartz in seams. So one of the things that impresses you most about how all this mining for gold was done was how much incredibly hard work it was to dig all the rock up from so far underground. Rock had to be crushed and treated to get the gold out of it. Here at the top of the hill is the head frame, where a large cable was lowered into the ground with a series of buckets for lifting out rock, and also some cages for raising and lowering men for during their shifts, and obviously to get them out of the way when they might be dynamiting. This section of the Battery Hill Museum is devoted to Albert Barella, who was awarded the Victoria Cross and a military medal for his bravery in the First World War. While working in Tennant Creek, Barella heard of the start of the war and was determined to be involved. He set out for Darwin, travelling 140 kilometres on foot and swimming across flooded rivers, before borrowing a horse and catching a ride on a mail coach to get to Darwin. He then took a steamship to Townsville and was among the first 15 men to enlist from the Northern Territory. Barella first served at Gallipoli, and after recovering from a bout of jaundice, continued his service on the Western Front in Europe. So, in another segment, this is the Battery Hill Minerals Museum, with some spectacular displays of mining through the ages, and some beautiful samples of the way various minerals appear in nature. Another display at the Battery Hill Museum presents Freedom, Fortitude and Flies, which displays artefacts and history from the early gold mining days at Tennant Creek.
Jesse was born on a winter's night in the middle of a storm. The road was blocked, so Jesse was born in this old house. Raised on love in those sunny years when there was magic in the world. Her laughter traveled well across those hardwood floors. God knows we didn't have much, but in a way, you know we had it all.
Here we are parked at the Pebbles, which is an Aboriginal women's dreaming site. I'll go for a bit of a walk around the Pebbles and have a look.
So just keep going, find your way in this world. If you need us, we'll be there. Keep on searching for your pot of gold. If you need us, we'll be there. You gotta treasure the moments you get. Can't flip the hourglass to start over again.
We're at the Tennant Creek telegraph station. Popped in for a visit and have a look at the buildings, which have been nicely maintained on the outside at least. So the little one on the left is the smokehouse, and the one on the right we just had a look inside is the cellar. So this building here is the actual telegraph station, and the building round on the right is the living quarters, and this building here is support, so it will be stables and machinery and such like. The telegraph station was named after Tennant Creek, and then I think a mine was named after the telegraph station, and then the township was named after the mine. The sulky, bits and pieces. Goes into a room. Might have been a kitchen or some such, certainly got a fireplace. Blacksmith shop. I'd like new shoes for my horse, please. And in the distance, water tanks and some cattle yards as well. And the line of trees running along here is Tennant Creek. The creek.
And it's not even the rock flying out that's your problem. It's the shock wave. The whole lot of you would end up on the back wall like half a dozen tomato sandwiches. There's a picture you needed for the rest of the day.